Lily heard the commotion and immediately ran into the bedroom. "Your Majesty, what happened? Get lost." Lily halted at the words. They came from the bed, and it was a man's voice. She knew something was wrong and cried for help. A chamberlain rushed in and quickly stopped her, angrily reprimanding her. "You blind fool! That's the king." Lily was dumbfounded. The king? The tyrant king who murdered people? Why had he suddenly come so late at night? On the bed, George pressed on Jane's shoulder with one hand while grabbing her dagger-wielding hand by the wrist with the other. He towered over her like a lion that was about to slaughter its prey. Jane could try to set herself free, but she stopped moving after discovering who he was. She could not see his face clearly in the dark. However, she could feel he was a deadly threat. "My queen, do you care to explain?" His harsh tone was intimidating. An ordinary girl would have begun stuttering helplessly a long time ago. Jane remained calm. "I only have this dagger with me for self-protection," she explained. "I didn't intend to give you a fright." At the end of the day, she was not a demure lady like Wendy. She had a monotonous voice that almost made her sound indifferent. Instead of someone speaking to her husband, it sounded as if she was speaking to a complete stranger. George snorted. He snatched her dagger away and sat upright. There was no lamp in the bedchamber. Very little moonlight shone into the room, making it somewhat dim. Jane could vaguely see a man sitting at the edge of the bed. His robe was messy and he looked slightly ruffled. He played around with the dagger. There was dead silence. Jane sat upright, keeping a distance between herself and George. She would not move unless he did. Suddenly, George leaned sideways and held the dagger against her neck. Jane neither moved nor tried to dodge. "The kind of people I kill are usually those who think they are smart," he said threateningly. "You're the king. The people you kill deserve to be killed," Jane replied. He burst into laughter. It sent chills down her spine. Then he leaned in and grabbed her by the neck before pushing her against the bed frame. He kept her trapped and questioned her forcefully. "In that case, do you think you deserve to be killed, my queen?" George intentionally spoke slowly. It felt as if he was torturing a criminal. Jane could feel the force he exerted was not strong enough to suffocate her, but it was enough to make her suffer. "My life is in your hands. It's not up to me to decide," she responded. "I'm telling you to say it," he bellowed. George was showing his furious side and gave off a bone-chilling aura. "If that's the case, I'll say I don't deserve to be killed," Jane answered frankly. "Is that so? But I heard that you were abducted before the wedding and lost your virginity." His gaze was cold. Jane remained calm. "It's only a rumor. You can easily find out if I'm actually a virgin." "All right. Let's find out." George threw her onto the bed. He was very strong. Fortunately, Jane was the one going through this. If it had been Wendy, she would have been injured. Suddenly, a hard object was pressed against her abdomen. Worse still, the man grabbed her hand and made her hold it herself. It was the cold hilt of the dagger. She could hear his demonic whisper in her ear. "You're too dirty for me. Do it yourself, my queen." Jane was enraged. The tyrant king was inhuman. She was glad once again that Wendy did not have to go through these things. She held the dagger, her hands shaking with her rage. "If you don't make a move, I won't mind getting someone to help you." There wasn't a hint of pity in his voice. Determined, Jane unbuttoned her attire.